TLDR, I love my boyfriend, was curious about some other guys, asked him, and he broke up with me on the spot. I feel like he's overreacting. How can I get him back? I'm not going to bore you guys with huge blocks of text, so here goes. I've been with my boyfriend for 5 years. He's amazing. Great job. Family and friends love him. Intelligent, attractive, supportive, and sex life is great. One of the important points is that we do not fight at all, and he's quite firm about this. He thinks fighting is a waste of time and for children. I learned that early on in the relationship and realized it's something I've grown to agree with, even though I hated it at first. We always sit down, discuss, and talk about issues and are able to reach compromises. He's very understanding and patient and never gets so angry that he has to raise his voice. He's also quite traditional in some respects too, which is good and bad. Although I've been able to talk to him and open his mind up about certain things, I know he hates cheaters, and I do trust him, and I know he trusts me too. He never ever restricted me or not let me do anything. Because of these things about him, I'm quite confused by how he's acting. I've been thinking about wanting to have an open relationship for a while, and it would be fair both ways. We would both get to sleep with other people. As long as we were honest with each other about it, and it was purely physical. I know he's quite traditional, but it also never seemed like something he would be that against, as he said things like, I have nothing against girls who like to sleep around, as long as they don't pretend they're innocent, / good girl, etc. However, I'm not going to pretend that he isn't a monogamous type of guy, because he is. I just figured that maybe I could open his mind to something different. He's very good in bed, but I just wanted to have some other experiences. Is that really wrong? I love him, and it has nothing to do with just purely physical sex. So, a few days ago, I decided to bring up the topic with opening up our relationship with him. His only answers were, "You joking, or are you serious?" To which I said I was being serious and wanted to know how he felt about it. He then told me that I could sleep with whoever I wanted to sleep with and to have a nice life. Then he packed some stuff and left. We share an apartment, and I couldn't really stop him. Since then, he has blocked me from calling him, all his social media, and won't speak to me. I don't know where he is staying because his friends refuse to talk to me, and I've been crying my eyes out for the past few days. He has removed his relationship status from Facebook and sent his friend over to get some of his other stuff, who has told me that he would eventually come to get the rest of things but wouldn't tell me anything else. He said that I've done enough damage and he's ashamed that he thought I would end up married with his friend. He also told me that I would be happier and better off if I didn't pretend to be somebody I wasn't when I started dating again. If he said he wasn't comfortable with it, I would have been okay with that. But he never gave me a chance. He literally just broke up with me for bringing it up. And he's never been like this before. I've been going to his workplace, but haven't been able to see him, and I can't get into the department where he works because you need to have clearance. And the receptionists say that he isn't taking any visits from anybody either. I love him so much, and I've done nothing over the past few days except cry and cry and cry, and I don't know what to do. I just want to talk to him and hear his voice and have him forgive me for being so stupid and tell me everything is going to be okay and talk to me like he usually does. But I don't understand how he can act like this and never acted like this before. I don't know what to do, and I'm going freaking crazy. The only thing I've been able to get from him is that one of my mutual friends talked to him for a while, but he basically didn't want to talk about it to anybody else. But the friend did ask him if he's really going to throw away 5 years over something so small, to which my boyfriend apparently said that he's not throwing away anything. He's cutting his losses while he can. Please help Reddit. I really don't know what to do. It feels like I'm falling apart. And what's even worse is some of my friends tell me what you expect, etc. And the others are there for me but don't know what to do either. Sorry if some things don't make sense. I'm a mess and everything is just coming out as best as I can. Write it down. If anybody needs to me clear anything up, I will. Let's see comments. No offense, but this guy sounds pretty awesome, and I want to be his friend. You said in your outline that he is a monogamous type of guy and that the sex is great. And based off what he said of girls who sleep around, I can probably conclude he views it the same way I do. It's a free world. You can sleep with who and however many people you want to, but that doesn't mean that I would want that person to be my girlfriend, fiance, wife. It just means, yeah, you possess the ability to do that. You don't really explain why you want to sleep with other people. You just want experiences. I know there is a poly movement among some of the users here, but they also would say it's only something that both people would be comfortable with. I don't feel like you thought it out all that much. Think about what you're asking from his perspective. He's been amazing. You live together. You have great sex. He trusts you completely. The relationships sound like one of the best on paper, and then you turn around and tell him, hey, we're doing amazing. For anyone that is strictly monogamous, saying something like to them is an implication of a plethora of things. I don't like sex with you. Sex with you isn't enough. I fantasize about other penises being inside of me, and now I want to act on those fantasies. And honestly, it's hard to trudge your way back from that. I, for one, couldn't sit with a 5-year SO and have her tell me she wants to bang other dudes and have it be a discussion that is at all on equal footing. With that said, I honestly think you're pretty screwed. If he was that quick to shut you down, then your only hope is somehow, in some way, someone gets to him and tells him to stop overreacting. For what you can do, I really don't know. Write an email, write a letter. I really don't think you have a lot of other options. You keep saying it would be fair and it would go both ways, and but you seem to be forgetting the fact that he's monogamous and wouldn't want to sleep with other people, and therefore you would be the only one doing so. That makes it unfair. I wouldn't have minded having new people in our sexual lives. No, it's not that you wouldn't have minded. You actively wanted this, enough to bring it up seriously in conversation with the intention of persuading your boyfriend to embrace it and then to go ahead and sleep with other people. I just figured that maybe I could open his mind to something different. When it comes to something so personal and deeply ingrained as one's attitude toward monogamy, it's very difficult to get someone to change their mind just through presenting a situation and subsequently have them truly be okay with non-monogamy. And frankly, to suggest that you could do it so easily is kind of insulting. People very often have strong reasons for and emotions surrounding the values that they hold. He also told me that I would be happier and better off if I didn't pretend to be somebody I wasn't when I started dating again. Clearly, for him, it's an absolute must have a girlfriend who is both monogamous and not at all receptive to the idea of an open relationship. Because you've now shown that you don't fulfill the latter part of that requirement. He feels that you deceived him by omission. Perhaps he could have made his feelings more clear earlier on in the relationship, but the fact is that he didn't. And now here you are. I just thought he would have been open to new things. There's a difference between being open to trying new things within the parameters of your existing relationship and being open to changing the entire definition of your relationship, what is acceptable in those bounds, and what you consider to be infidelity. Those are huge relationship upturning new things. It would be kind of like saying to your staunchly atheist boyfriend, I want us to become actively practicing Christians. Wait, why is this a deal breaker for you? I thought you'd be open to new things. It's unfortunate that your relationship ended so suddenly over something you view as such a minor issue, but if your ex-boyfriend continues to hold fast to his principles, and there's every reason to think that he will, you two are ultimately no longer compatible. Sorry, let's see another story. Boyfriend broke up with me for merely asking about, not for, an open relationship. Hi, everyone. I am a 26 female and dating a 24 male. We've been together about 2 years now and was looking forward to getting engaged. Well, I guess I smashed that up because my boyfriend broke up with me. Some backstory: I had been a bit promiscuous as a young girl in middle school, but honestly, most of those relationships, hookups, were with guys that were jerks and just took advantage of me for sex. I don't regret the experiences, but I do regret the people. My boyfriend, on the other hand, was a virgin until senior year when we met. Admittedly, I tried to sleep with him on our first date, and he said he wasn't into that, but it's because he was shy and hadn't lost his virginity yet, so we took it slow. He never asked about my past life at that point, and I never volunteered anything. As we started dating and opened up to him about my past, he was really accepting of it, but I could also tell he was extremely embarrassed and ashamed of his situation of being a virgin until late in college. Anyways, he assured me that he accepted me and that he loved all of me, even my past. Honestly, when I asked for an open relationship, it had nothing to do with his sexual performance or the size of his penis, before anyone smartass accuses me. My thinking was that by opening things up, maybe he could have more experiences like I had, with other people, one night stands, Tinder hookups, etc. And yeah, especially now that he wasn't a virgin anymore and I taught him how to be a good sex partner, that would be something that he would appreciate and go for. Well, I guess sex not cause, when I asked about it, I never even got to explain my reasoning behind it because he broke up with me before I could even get to it. The conversation basically went like this. So, T, I was thinking, and like, we both want to take our relationship forward, right? Since we're still young and trying to experience all the good things about the world, I was thinking, and I just wanted to know if maybe, well, what are your thoughts on an open relationship? Immediately, he started verbally abusing me and calling me a worthless, lying slut and all of these other horrible things that men should never call a woman. It's been 2 nights now since he decided to break up and block my number, but I'm still frustrated as F about this whole thing. Has anyone ever successfully come back from a question like this? What I mean by that is, like, I wish that he would reconsider because, well, his anger may have definitely clouded his judgment about the whole thing. I don't need an open relationship, and I'm not a slut, so please be nice. I just want the happiness and security that all women deserve. Let's see another story. I, 27 female, don't want to lose my boyfriend, 28 male, by asking for an open relationship. My boyfriend and I have been together for 7 years and have lived together for almost all of it. We have a great relationship, are full partners in every sense of the word, and have good communication and conflict resolution. Basically, the only issue we have is that I'm not exactly satisfied by our sex life. It's not that there's something he does or doesn't do. I think it's that we're so comfortable and familiar with each other that I don't find excitement in it anymore. I don't know how to express this to him without hurting him or making him feel like there's anything wrong with him. I had only been sexually active for a few months when we first got together, whereas he had been active for quite a few years and had multiple partners and relationships. He is the only boyfriend I've had. I didn't feel like I was done exploring, but it was clear he wanted exclusivity, and I wanted to be with him. He has described himself as a jealous person in the past, but I've never witnessed it. I've always enjoyed harmless and cheeky flirting with others, and he seems to see this as a part of who I am and accepts it. Over the years, there have been times when I wished for the freedom to take it further than flirting, but have never told anyone this. I would never act on anything behind his back or betray him. My hope is that opening our relationship would add spice and excitement that would benefit our relationship. I even find the idea of him being with other women thrilling as well, although I don't think he ever would. even if he agreed to an open relationship. He's just not someone who's interested in being with anything other than one person. I'm sure anyone reading this who's been cheated on wants to shake me through the screen for having the most loyal partner in the world and not being satisfied. My boyfriend really is the best partner I could ask for, and that's why I'm so conflicted. I absolutely do not want to risk losing him, and I'm worried that even telling him what I'm wanting could do irreparable damage to our relationship. The thing is, if I knew for certain that he would say no, I would just push my feelings down and try to live with the status quo for the rest of my life. It's the fact that I know he loves me enough to possibly agree to it for my sake alone that makes it difficult. The last thing on earth I want to do is hurt him. TLDR. I want my boyfriend and I to have an open relationship to bring excitement back to our otherwise perfect relationship, but I know it's not something he wants, and I do not want to do anything that might jeopardize our relationship. I would love some outside perspective on the matter, since I don't feel like this is something I can talk freely about with anyone in my life. I know it's a pretty taboo subject, so I appreciate open-mindedness and compassion. He is clearly monogamous and in love with you. You broached this subject with him in the manner you have done so in this post, and your relationship will be mortally wounded, if not terminated on the spot. You need to be working with your BF to address the sexual needs you feel are being unmet. Otherwise, just break up with him, and you both can freely explore other partners. Even if he is strong, armed into agreeing to this, it will lead to resentment, distrust, and ultimately the end of your relationship. If you want to be single, end it with your BF and pursue as many sexual partners as you want. That will give him the freedom to do the same. Word of caution, you may find indeed that the grass is not always greener on the other side of the fence. As someone who is monogamous and loves his girlfriend more than anything, I would do almost anything to make her happy, but opening our relationship is one thing I will not do. If she has a need to explore herself sexually, that is something we should be open to doing together. If she feels the need to explore herself sexually with others, maybe we can go back to being friends. No guarantee, though, sometimes it hurts too much and it's better to move on. Even if he does agree to an open relationship, I don't see your relationship surviving. Being a naturally monogamous person, he will either not even try to pursue other partners because of the guilt he will feel when he is with them, and he will become jealous and resent you for wanting other men. Or he will give it a try because he loves you, even though it hurts him, and develop an emotional connection with someone. So, he will either end up resenting you or finding your replacement. If you actually love him and don't want to lose him, I would suggest that you have a conversation with him about exploring sexually with him first. Try new things. Communicate other desires that you have besides having sex with someone else. There are probably still a lot of ways that you guys can spice up your sex life without pursuing other partners. Or if you feel like this is something you absolutely have to do, and you truly do love him, be honest. Explain to him that you feel like you missed out sexually through your lifetime and that you feel the need to explore yourself sexually with other partners. Let him know that you love him and you want to be with him, but this is something you feel you need to do. Get his feedback and give him the opportunity to find an open relationship as a resolution on his own. I would not even propose this option to him at all. He may feel backed into a corner and agree, even though he hates the idea. If he half-heartedly agrees, your relationship is as good as over. Good luck. I think open relationships can be very delicate and, like others have said, only works if both are 100% on board. Based off your boyfriend's personality, I highly doubt it is something he wants. I don't think you're a bad person for not feeling like you haven't explored in your youth. I think that is a very natural feeling, considering you have only been with one person. But in my opinion, this probably would affect your relationship. I think you two should talk about other ways to spice up your sex life. Try to keep fantasies as fantasies.